over 100,000 Canadians left the country in 2024. And that number may not sound huge until you hear this. It's the highest number since 1967.
But if we zoom out even further, over 4 million Canadians are now living abroad. That is roughly 11% of Canada's population.
And this isn't just a statistic. It's tens of thousands of people with families, friends, and roots here who still made the decision to leave.
In search of what?
Some of you watching this video might already have an answer in mind. Others are sincerely wondering.
So what are those who are leaving seeing that the rest of Canadians aren't?
And where are they going?
And should you be considering it too?
Before we proceed, our goal isn't to convince you one way or another. It's to share facts, realities, and perspectives so you can make your own decision or share your thoughts with us in the comment section below.
So who are the people that have left Canada in recent years? Well, the most common answers you'll hear is it's too expensive, there are no jobs, or my personal favorite, it's too woke. But none of these are really telling the full story about Canada. As we talk to friends who've left and browse deeper through online communities, people list many reasons, but these are the main ones. They include things like cost of living or simply the desire for something new.
What happens in reality is that most of these reasons share common roots, and they often boil down to two major factors that may drive someone to leave Canada. First, it's about how much control or agency you feel you have over your life and situation. Second, it's about your core motivation for living, which can range from practical reasons like the cost of living to deeply personal or values-driven ones. From here, we'll start to see four distinct groups of people emerge.
The first, and perhaps the most miserable, is what we call the trapped and tired. This group is tired of external pressures like economy, housing, living costs, lack of opportunity, and that grows resentment. Whether they were born here or moved here with rose glasses of instant jobs and endless opportunity, they feel like the system is working against them. They've played by the rules, they got the education, they've paid the taxes, and they worked hard. But now they find themselves priced out of housing, stuck in precarious jobs, and squeezed by the inflation. Some in this group also carry deep political frustration as a result of the last decade of policies that they disagree with. They no longer feel aligned with the direction and feel voiceless in a country they see as drifting too far into woke policies, political correctness, and bureaucratic overreach. They're angry, not just about affordability, but about how alienating and hypocritical they feel the government has been. There's simply no trust, and according to them, if there's no trust in the government, there's no trust in a brighter future in this country. These guys feel dismissed, taxed, unheard, and they want relief from an economic strain and cultural dissonance. Many of these folks are drawn to countries that align more closely with their values, cost of living expectations, or traditional norms. So these are the folks who will be likely seeking a place that offers all of those things, and also require low effort to move because these folks are already burnt out. Since this group is on the passive spectrum, not many of them end up leaving. They usually vent in conversations or online, they complain about how Canada is broken, they wish to change, but don't actually plan to leave. They list financial constraints, family ties, fear of change, risk aversion, comfort zone as their reasons for not leaving. But if they do leave, it's usually to the US, because the change is not that drastic. The same language, similar culture, close to Canada, and a lot of Canadians probably already have friends and family there in the first place. If the person is into the left versus right narrative and leaning right, there are plenty of states that can scratch that popular itch, so they naturally choose those. US is also known to have lower taxes and lower regulations, which is something that appeals the population that feel disillusioned with Canadian politics and policies. The more south in US you go, the cheaper it gets too, so that's something many appreciate, as long as they stay safe from all the tornadoes. Interestingly, Portugal was in the top 3 list of countries where Canadians moved during the pandemic. It offers a relatively lower cost of living compared to Canada. It also has a slower pace of life and less polarization in general. People there just enjoy their Aperol siestas and call it a day. Mexico, Costa Rica, Panama have also been popular destinations for this group. All of these offer an even lower cost of living. In the case of Panama, it also offers good business climate if you're frustrated by Canada's poor support for small businesses.
Next, we have this category of the quiet drifters, people with passive frustration and internal misalignment. They're not broke, they're not angry, they're not making big announcements, but quietly beneath the surface they feel disconnected. Some are Canadian-born, others immigrated here years ago. Most have jobs, apartments, routines, but they don't feel a sense of home or belonging. For them, everything is just fine, but not great. They don't hate Canada, but they don't love it either. Because they have internal misalignment, these folks often feel alone and isolated. They have a sense of not belonging or disconnection at a deeper personal level. They daydream about living elsewhere, research options, browse real estate abroad, watch expat YouTube, but rarely pull the trigger. Their blockers are indecision, perfectionism, fear of regretting living, and waiting for the perfect conditions. But when they reach the tipping point and are ready to leave, it's not about a specific opportunity. It's about a desire to feel something different, shake things up, find a place where they belong, because they obviously don't feel like they fit in here. So when they decide it's time to make that change, they will look for a place that will offer them new emotions, new easygoing social circles, and tight-knit communities where people actually talk and care about each other. These folks often watch YouTube videos about abroad, but struggle turning these ideas into action. So, if you aren't suffering but aren't thriving either and you think you belong to this category, consider this your sign it's time to act now. Folks in this group often gravitate toward countries that shake them out of autopilot and expose them to new ways of living, or allow them to experiment with identity and lifestyle. This group is most likely to try out the digital nomad lifestyle, traveling around and living in different places for several months at a time before they decide where to settle. Thailand is a popular first move. Low cost, stimulating culture, colorful daily life. It's a sensory overload, and for someone feeling emotionally flat, that can be exactly what they need. Costa Rica appeals to those seeking a more hippie, relaxing lifestyle with nature over novelty. It's not exciting, but it's grounding, and it's ideal for someone who needs space to reflect and heal. Australia or anywhere in Europe appeals to quiet drifters who want a richer texture to everyday life. This group isn't driven by data or strategy. They are driven by instinct and quiet ache. And if you are in this group, that's okay. You don't need to justify your feelings. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just take a small step toward the unknown.
Now, let's move to a group that has a proactive approach, but internal misalignment. These guys aren't struggling financially or professionally. In fact, from the outside, things look great. We'll call them the purpose seekers. These are the people who figured Canada out. They've probably bought property, landed good jobs, and maybe even raised families. They're not worried about inflation as much as others. They're not angry or burnt out, but deep down, something just doesn't click. They've done everything that they wanted, and yet they're not fulfilled. Sometimes it's cultural, sometimes it's about pace of life, warmth of relationships, or for Anna, for instance, it's the issue of walkability and the soulless city-building culture in North America. Canada's clean, organized, and safe, but it can also feel cold, transactional, and isolating, where everyone is stuck in their own car, in their own condo, driving among concrete jungles or urban sprawl on endless highways. This group includes both longtime immigrants and Canadian-born professionals. And if there is a group that we could relate to the most at this point in time, it's probably this one, although we have no intention of leaving Canada, at least not yet. Some folks in this group have lived in Canada for over a decade, but still don't feel like they fully belong. Others were born here but have traveled enough to know that there's another way to live, like those moving to Europe for deeper cultural immersion, better food, or more balanced lifestyle, or simply to be closer to family. This group is not seeking more money or material things like the next group that we will cover. This group is looking for a deeper sense of connection, culture, and joy. They're not optimizing for wealth, they're just optimizing for life. And as they make their decision to leave Canada, they look for a sense of belonging, somewhere that feels emotionally warmer or culturally familiar. They also want a different lifestyle rhythm, slower pace, more human-centered living like walkability, bikeability, and developed public spaces. A creative soul may also look for emotional spark, a place that inspires them, not just sustains them. For this group, Portugal again comes up, but for different reasons. This group is also drawn to the culture, the food, the ocean, the feeling of life happening outside. Other European countries like Germany, the UK, and Malta all have shown up for this group too for the same reasons. You don't go there to get rich. You go there to feel more like yourself. Returning to the country of origin is also on the table for many immigrants who found what they've looked for and have now gained new perspective. And it happens not because they failed in Canada, but because they found a new appreciation for their own culture, perhaps. It's not uncommon to find a hybrid solution for this group: 6 months in Canada, 6 months abroad, especially if they come from Southern cultures.
The last quadrant experiences external pressure and they are proactive. These are the profit chasers. For them, Canada's been good, but they think they can do better. This group is pragmatic and materialistic. They figured out the system in Canada, built decent careers or businesses, and in many cases are objectively doing well. But they've also run the numbers and realized that Canada isn't the most efficient place for their long-term goals, especially when it comes to wealth building, tax efficiency, career acceleration, entrepreneurship or remote work, and of course climate and lifestyle optimization. Those are the people who don't like complaining online, they just pack their bags and leave. This group appreciates what Canada gave them, like a passport, safety, education, or a clean start, but they're not attached emotionally. Their main goal is to retire early and eventually enjoy life. These folks also often belong to the FIRE movement, or they are already ready to retire and are looking for a suitable place to do so. Some folks in this category are former immigrants who decided to move back to their home country, or even perhaps decide to live in between two countries. These guys are optimizing for the material goods, wealth and money. For them, Canada was a stepping stone, not a final destination. So, as they think about their next destination, they often look for global arbitrage, optimizing for making sure that they keep their Canadian-level income, but reduce cost of living significantly. They chase business and tax opportunities in the new place, and they crave lifestyle freedom. These are the folks who hate being stuck in traffic and prefer working on a beach. Effort is less of an issue for them than for the trapped and tired, because they have the resources and the energy to invest into optimizing for cost versus benefit. As we look at the list of common countries Canadians in this quadrant choose, you'll see Portugal topping the list. Its non-habitual residency tax regime allows certain foreign income to go untaxed for up to 10 years. Combine that with a relaxed lifestyle, low cost of living, and EU access, and it's a dream for remote workers and also solo entrepreneurs. The trade-off is bureaucracy and language barrier, and rent will actually not be that much lower than in Toronto, in hotspots like Lisbon, since this destination has been really popular with digital nomads. Panama is common for the similar tax benefits, since the country doesn't tax foreign earned income, and it has stable banking laws and residency paths tailored to retirees and professionals. You don't come to Panama for cultural buzz. You come here for financial control and sun. Thailand is another popular destination, offering one of the lowest cost of living lifestyles in the world, with high-speed internet and developed expat infrastructure. For those seeking scale, the US remains an attractive move. It's one of the best places to start and grow your business, but you trade social safety net for that higher personal upside.
So what do we make out of all of that? Where do you fit in this quadrant? Maybe we haven't even talked about your profile, so do let us know in the comment section.
If you struggle with the question of whether it's time to leave Canada, there are 3 questions that can help you get there. Ask yourself, are your expectations being met in Canada? Meaning, what was the life you imagined for yourself 5 years ago versus where you are now? Does it match?
Is your desire to leave about money, or personal values, or something else? Think about your priorities and if they fully match what's in the first column of this table. That's the country that might be for you.
And the last question, are you reacting to the moment or planning for the long term? Are you frustrated because something happened recently that's clouding your judgment? Or have you been thinking about moving for a while and finally reached your tipping point?
And even if you have a definite answer for these questions, I'd also ask myself, are there any drastic changes to the behavior or the lifestyle that I can make to achieve the same results? Sometimes issues are more internal than we think. And sometimes it's just a mindset, because no matter where we go, we still take ourselves with us. Changing countries won't automatically fix what's inside. It's just changing our environment. Happiness isn't something that we find in a new location either. It's something that we build wherever we are.
It's sometimes easy to say, well, my life is bad because the country where I'm from is bad. And in some cases, it's legit. A family living in Afghanistan, Iran, has all the rights to say that their country and their regime does not provide the opportunities that they think they deserve.
But what about Canada? It is not a perfect country, but it is a free one.
Yes, there are some rules, some bureaucracy, and moments of frustration, but at its core, Canada offers something that many in the world can only dream of, like the freedom to move, freedom to speak, the freedom to love, the freedom to build a life on your own terms, as long as it doesn't take away someone else's.
But let's say that this is not enough, and you're still longing for more. The moment you consider leaving, there are fundamental questions to tackle. What will you realistically gain with your move?
Or what will you lose?
And how long are you willing to suffer for that? These are the questions that we always encourage newcomers to ask themselves before deciding to move to Canada, because these are the same questions that we wrestled with when making that decision ourselves.
Leaving your home country isn't just a logistical move, it's an emotional one. It's one of the hardest, most complex choices that you will ever make. And it's rarely as simple as the feel-good story of the grass is greener on the other side. It's more like peeling back the layers of an onion, each layer revealing deeper fears, hopes, trades-off, and truths that you can't ignore.
So with all of that, where would you move if you left Canada? Drop your thoughts below. We love reading your comments. And remember that no matter where you go, you still take yourself with you. Happiness is built inside, not found somewhere else.
If you found this video helpful, please click the like button below and subscribe if you haven't already.
And don't forget to sign up for our free career newsletter, which covers some of the exciting things happening in Canada and the opportunities that come along with it. You can find the link in the description box below.
And if the algorithm got it right, you will also like this video next, and we'll see you there.
Take care.